the Goddamn Radio, powered by Struggle Band Network. It's possible that a lot of the shit we're about to talk about is neither actual, factual, or even remotely true. Half of what we say is shit, but all of what we say is funny. Most importantly, we encourage all parties to fact check, because all of this shit is spoke from alleged lips. Go look it up yourself. But don't forget to like and subscribe to all this we talking. You sure to be entertained. The Goddamn Radio.
Yeah.
That was me.
And what's going on?
It's the Goddamn Radio.
Hey.
Yeah. But we gonna get right into some things. We ain't gonna waste no time. We got FYO, Odie, Trina Bina, Rizzy fucking Ray. And we gonna put on a little show for y'all tonight. We got some things to talk about.
Thank you.
Honorably, Mr. FYO, is there a particular order or start from the top?
First of all, how's everybody doing? Anybody got plans for this weekend? Been Mother's Day. Anybody got plans?
It's Mother's Day. I'm going to church. Go see my granny.
It's my niece's birthday party because her birthday fell like this. So, yeah, I've been in my apartment now. This will be the third Mother's Day or second Mother's Day. Anyway, I'm about to hit another year of being in my apartment. So,
Period. Per.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has anybody had any music, album, song, or anything that helped them get through the week? Like, any standout music more than usual this week?
I got two. The little Summer Walker joint. I want you to spend it on me, spend it on me. Go right ahead, and that's my shit. And then Mariah the Scientist, Burning Blue. Hey, bruh. Like them been my songs. Really heavy. And then throwback, I've been listening to Justin Timberlake and Beyonce a lot. The Into the End of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then the other song, Maybach, 42 Doug, Future and Future. That's been on repeat too. Tell Dad make me some noodles. I don't know. It's just that's been my rotation, my 4 or 5.
Period. I haven't been listening to music. I feel like the podcasts and different stuff has been taking up the time that I would usually listen to music. So I haven't been listening to any music. I'm behind.
But you've been listening to like live streams and stuff, podcasts.
Yeah.
I know you even got me following the Karen Reed situation. So without telling too much, like
what's going on? Like what's tea currently?
Is it looking good or what?
To me, I think it's looking good. I think the defense is doing what needs to be done. Okay, them witnesses was not ready. I feel like the defense is when they ask him. Like when I say he picking out everything, but we're gonna see. I don't know because
wait. For the audience that don't know, right? Give a backstory on
yes. So the backstory of Karen Reed. She's basically a woman that was dating a Boston police officer, and a group of fellow police officers he worked with, including him and his girl, hung out, went to a bar. Later that night, it was a blizzard, and they end up finding him on the lawn dead. They try to accuse her of killing him by hitting him with the back of her car. So she went to trial last year. And it was a mistrial. So it was a half and half jury. So half felt like she was guilty, half felt like she was not guilty. So they did a mistrial. She's back on trial now. It's about day 11 now on the trial. But basically, she has a lot of support because in Boston, they're known for having a lot of police corruption or like corruption inside of the police department. So it's a good trial. I don't think that she did it. I think she's innocent, based off of evidence and based off of everything that was gathered from the first trial, and also the lackluster investigation of the last trial. So I think she's
what a good
yes, because They didn't even investigate nobody else. They automatically made her the suspect without investigating anybody else that was there that seen him last. So to me, that was very lackluster. Other detectives. So yeah, but it's going well.
The lawn that he died on,
yes,
was law enforcement as well,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
everybody that was there was involved in law enforcement. Everybody that night that was at the bar, all of the men was working for the police department.
Mm-hmm.
So now the new trial started, and
it started early. It's day 10. It's day 11 right now. So it started the beginning of May. So yeah, it's about the day 11 of the actual trial.
what is the Karen Reed trial air on?
You can I watch it on YouTube. My favorite channels to watch trials is Court TV and Law and Crime. I've been watching Court TV though because they've been having the actual 4 days. So I've been watching the 4 days of each day. So Court TV is what I recommend, but you can watch it on like Law and Crime, Court TV. You can even watch it on like Boston Fox, like their channel, because they covering it, of course, because it's in Boston.
Okay. All right, well, y'all go check it out. Karen Reed trial, you know what I'm saying? Interesting trial.
The first trial though, you can watch on Netflix because that's what.
Also, they just made a documentary about her on Hulu, so that's new.
Okay.
As well, they got a brand new documentary that they made.
Mm-hmm. All right, so all you gotta do is have Hulu and Netflix if you want to start it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And y'all rooting for her. Y'all rooting for her, right?
I'm rooting for.
I'm indifferent sometimes because I feel like nobody's innocent, right? Like I feel like there's maybe something that she, some sort of part that maybe she played. Maybe she knew things a little sooner or something. I don't know. It's very, very.
I actually don't think she know any. I don't even think she know anything. I think her involvement in it was possibly being drunk, driving, and not being aware of things. Because with them drinking so heavily, that kind of delayed the search. You know what I'm saying? Because she instantly left from him not returning, going to his house to make sure his kids was good, which ended up leading her to go to bed and her waking up and being like, where the hell is my nigga at? It's 5 o'clock in the morning. So I think that was like her contribution. But I do think that they're so pressed to lock up someone and they're so scared for it to be someone that they work with, like a fellow police officer, where they just trying to close it. But I'm like, there's no real justice because you're just trying to lock somebody else up for the actual crime, which I don't think she actually committed.
Which it is crazy because I feel like nobody would have left the nigga because he took too long to come out the house.
Well, from what I know the situation, he went inside. She didn't know any of the people, so she kept calling. They do have phone records of her calling and texting before she left the scene, and she wasn't getting any response. So she left and went back to the house.
Okay, let me say this, right? Would y'all have just called and then just left?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, no, that's all. That's just my viewpoint of it. You know what I'm saying?
Me personally.
He ain't gonna get that nigga out the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm going, hey, what the fuck going on? And we've been drinking, so it's just like,
yeah, and you took my break. I want that back.
Ultimately, perhaps her not going in the house saved her life. If they were on something malicious, perhaps her not doing that saved her life.
Nobody wants to die alone, man. I want my bitch to die with me.
You get the insurance policy that way.
Hey, Mo.
I'm just saying though, if something happened to me and I don't make it in the morning and that bitch still alive, friend, you call the police and you give them her address. That's suspect number 1, that bitch. Whoever she is.
I got you, friend.
I think she did it.
You already know, friend. If I don't hear from your ass, I'm calling around. You already know.
That's funny as hell.
But
I think he definitely died in that house.
You give him that bitch address. She ain't on it.
He died. I think he died in that house for sure. He didn't die outside. He didn't have no hypothermia, no type of frostbite from being out there for hours. And when they found him, on the, phones can also collect temperature data. So they had temperature data from the time that they claim he was out there. Then they also had people who left the scene after the fact who didn't see his body on the lawn. How do you walk out and not see this big man on the lawn if he was hit before she left? How do you not see it when you're driving home? The snowplow man was there 2:30, did not see his body, but then see a Ford Escape right where his body was found in the middle of his shift, which they own the Ford Escape. Like, it was just so many different things where I'm like, it's definitely.
Even there was so much evidence collected that seemed to be planted. Like, they found pieces of the tail light.
Yep.
In odd spaces.
Mm-hmm. Which he did not have any fibers or any type of anything on the tail light. And actually, the actual marks on his body does not match getting hit by a car. It actually matches different things, like the dog that was inside the house, which they got rid of. They got rid of the house. They got rid of their phones. It was just like, how did you not see this? They got rid of their house, the dog, the phones, like all within the time frame of all of this happening. Like, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy.
Yeah. There's definitely some inconsistencies there.
Yeah, they too scared to fuck with them other police, especially the chief, because I think he was also like the chief of the police department. So,
and one of the people that was close to the investigation, actually was set down or removed, right? Like,
he was the actual detective. The actual detective was fired after the case. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, misconduct there.
Yeah.
All right, Ray, I sent you
What's your music taste? We ain't get into that for you. What you listening to this week?
What I got in heavy rotation more than anything else? Mm-hmm. I listen to a lot of music, right? So I try not to like overly wear something out just because I listen to just a lot of shit all the time. Well, I listen to music all the time, so I try not to like overly listen to one thing. But I guess this week I'll probably listen to 4 Backs on God. I'll probably listen to that heavier than normal this week, I would say. I listened to I will say that something that was interesting to me is that Death Row Records, which I believe Snoop Dogg owns now, right? Death Row Records, usually known for like gangster shit or whatever. Mm-hmm. They put out I guess I want to say like a religious album. Maybe it's inspirational, but I want to say it's like teetering between like religious and inspirational. And they got like various artists on there. Like Jamie Foxx got a song on there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I thought that was an interesting listen. I can't remember what it's called right now because I can't pull it up on my phone. But yeah, Death Row Records, they put out a album. I think it's like a gospel album, pretty much.
Oh wow!
But it's just got a variety of artists on there doing songs, and I feel like they tried to like theme it or whatever. But I thought that was an interesting listen. But yeah, 4 Backs on God, I think I've been listening to like a little bit heavier than them. But yeah, friend, I sent you like a list of like shorthand shit because I'm driving. I know. So I got another. Whatever sounds interesting, you ain't gotta.
Okay, I understand you. Okay. One other song that I thought was interesting. I think they've pulled it online because the only way I was able to find it was really on Twitter, and then I went back to Twitter and couldn't find it. But Kanye West dropped a Hail Hitler song.
Oh yeah.
That was interesting. And one of the people who's like that I know is a really hardcore Kanye West saying, and he was like breaking it down for me because I listened to it and I was like, I don't really hear that. But he was saying that basically there's lines in there where Kanye was saying, you know, Hitler is the only reason that Hitler is looked at as bad is because whoever wins the war gets to tell the narrative or create the narrative of the story. So America has been able to paint him as this certain type of person when really he was just someone trying to protect, you know, what he felt like was his or like his country and things like that. I don't know where I stand in that. I haven't done enough research, but I thought it was an interesting perspective. I didn't gather that from the song, so I may have to find it and listen again with a different set of ears.
I think as quiet as kept. I think Kanye West is being, I guess for lack of better words, blackballed or boycotted against. You know what I mean, in the media. I think his last project, Bully, isn't that bad of a listen. I ain't gonna lie. Overall, I don't think it's that bad. I just think people aren't covering it because you know what everything he has going on. You don't want to seem like you're in support of him and risk like your platform or risk whatever you got going on. But I definitely think that it wasn't that. It was okay. I don't think it was bad. I think sonically, Kanye West is always going to sound good sonically. You know what I mean? Just because I just feel like he's a top producer, right? But I don't think the album itself was bad. I just think it's not getting coverage. So, and I think he put it out in a way where like on a lot of platforms, it's like one long track instead of being able to like next through it. So I think you know that makes it hard to like just go listen to certain things. But
sounds like a Drake move. I feel like Drake's last album.
It's not on DSPs for the most part. And the ones it's on, to my knowledge, at least last time I checked, it's not broken down in tracks. So I just feel like you know it makes it hard for people to go like listen to it, and you know when you gotta listen to the whole thing every time. Or like remember where you stopped or whatever. But other than that, I feel like it's not a bad listen. I ain't gonna lie. And I think that all right, well fuck it. Starting with Kanye West, right? Did anybody hear the song Cousins?
I seen some of the lyrics. I didn't hear the whole song.
Same.
There were any takes, any feels, any takeaways, any thoughts, any opinions?
I mean, only thing I heard was he was sucking Ping, his cousin Ping as a kid, and he showed them news magazines, but I haven't heard the whole song, so I don't really know what it's giving. Have you heard?
I think it's interesting that he decided to air that out at this point. I hope it's in some way a form of him healing. I do think it's funny how I saw one of his like interviews or some footage from him where he's like, oh, I get to say, you know, faggot now because everybody thinks I'm gay, right? I thought that was interesting, but yeah, I mean, I think Kanye West is really interesting with what he puts out there, and really, I respect the fact that he's bold enough to put his views out there and his truth out there. But I just think it's really kind of weird. It's clear he's on that drug called nitrous, and I think that's really impacting him. He's talked about it in the song Cousins, and he also talked about it in Hail Hitler. So I think he's definitely under some sort of addiction or substance, and he needs help.
I think he's always been addicted to porn. Just throwing that out there too. And I think that kind of like gives a little bit more insight to that, right? Maybe when it started or why he's that way. But I think Kanye West. All right, let me start with this, right? With the Cousins thing, right? I do feel like I would hope he's getting some type of therapy or some type of healing from it, right? I'm pretty sure that like holding on to shit like that probably isn't good for the psyche or good for the mental, probably a long-term effect, right? So I would hope him releasing that or getting that out does something beneficial for him. I think that I could see that, right, happening. That the way he's described it, right? He found I think that when you're a kid, I think it's best to like keep certain things in front of your kids. So when they found it, they're not like amazed or like so curious or so like have so many questions about it without being able to ask you because they think it's a secret. I see a lot of times when people say if you buy a gun, don't hide your gun, because when your kid finds it, like their reaction to it is different than like if you just would have put it on your mantle, and they see it all the time, right? And I could envision like porn was that for him. It was, he said his dad had porn, but his mom had different type of porn, and he found it, and it was a secret, and they were curious, and I could, picture kids being curious. I also think that in the era where we grew up, we didn't really know what gay was, like how kids just automatically, like at a very young, well, not automatic, but at a very young age, have a different understanding and are introduced to gay very early. So I can imagine in his era, they probably had less of an understanding young, and it probably wasn't introduced like until way later. So him seeing something, him and his cousins not knowing what it is, him and his cousin seeing something that his mom hid that seemed important to his mom because it was a secret, because she kept it somewhere safe, and they just tried it, you know what I mean? Not knowing what they were trying or not knowing what they were doing or not having an idea or concept of what gay is. I could see that. I think that, and when we were kids, I know some cousins that hunched. It was a thing, right? Because you just don't know. And now I feel like kids would never even do that today just because of the information that they know earlier on. So I can see two boys, finding something and trying what they saw and it being innocent. I think that I feel bad that Kanye West probably told a story about his cousin, that his cousin probably didn't want out. And I think that it's crazy that, like, technically Kanye West molested his cousin, you know what I mean? Because that is molestation, you know what I mean?
That is.
And being the older cousin and his cousin being a younger cousin. But I hope he gets something from it. With the Hitler thing, I just feel like I'm not gonna lie, right? With the Hitler thing, I think black people have been told that we can't talk about Hitler, and I want a black person to tell me why we can't talk about Jews. What's the reason why we shouldn't talk about Jews? Why shouldn't be anti-Semitic? Like, I can't think of one reason in history why black people shouldn't be anti-Semitic. So when Kanye West talks about Jews, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, why do we care that he talks about them in a certain light? You know what I mean? Every time you've heard black people and Jews, it's been a black person apologizing. We got to act like we didn't know that they played a part in slavery, that they insured the boats we was on. We got to act like that we don't drive on the highways that was invented by Hitler. We're going to act like the sex doll wasn't invented by Hitler. They can still use sex dolls as toys to this day, right? So it's like, I don't know. The last quote that we got from Hitler, he had a quote about Africans or about black people being like, black people were like the true jewel or gem or something like that. And a lot of people try to like interpret that how they want to interpret it as a negative thing. And if you look at history, white people got black people and built their country off of us. You know what I mean? Which would make it seem like he viewed us in a positive way. And I do agree that whoever wins history gets to write the story. So we don't know what Hitler really been next, or how he was viewed overall as good or bad. You know what I mean? I feel like that's up to interpretation as to some degree. So, and that's my thing with Hitler and Kanye West. When Kanye West talk about the Jews, it makes sense to me, and that's all I'll say. And I feel like black people, agree with him overall. Like most black people that do media aren't financially stable enough to be able to agree with him and not be scared of the backlash.
I think that it's intimidating because the Jews, from my understanding, are heavily, allegedly heavily involved in the Federal Reserve. So that's our money, right? So when you get to a certain status or level, it puts you in a position to be blackballed. Hence, what I think is potentially happening even with Kanye. And yeah, I think that's why we're told to not talk about them, because of the potential consequence.
Even the fact that that's a thing, right? Like, it's one thing to say we should, like, there's one thing to not talk about Jews, right, because of your consequences. It's another thing to act like the things that another black person are saying that could be true ain't. Or he's doing something so wrong by talking about them. That to me is cooning.
Do black people do that, or is it other, like?
Yes. I think black people get on the internet, right, and they talk about Kanye West being crazy and this, that, and the third, and how wild he and they talk about the things he said. They talk about Kanye West wore the swastika, right, everybody's talking about like, oh, why would he wear a swastika? Why would the person have merch and a chain as a swastika, right? I think that Kanye West explained himself, and it makes sense. He said that Jewish people run music, right? So they benefit off our struggle, right? When you think about Rick Ross was able to rap about killing people. He was able to rap about putting drugs, selling drugs to black people, right? Thing like everything negative that was black to black, he was able to rap it. And the Jew was like, I'm going to promote this. I'm going to promote this. I'm going to promote this. The moment he talked about date rape, right, which is not exclusively to black, right? It is to anybody. A white person can be date raped. They made him apologize for that. We cannot promote this. But if you keep talking about this nigga on nigga shit, we'll keep promoting this. So Kanye West's viewpoint is Jews are benefiting off our struggle. They're benefiting off our plight. They're promoting it. I'm going to promote theirs. I'm going to benefit off of theirs. I'm going to profit off of theirs. That's his viewpoint of it, which is the truth of what's happening. So when black people,
I think that Kanye doesn't have a lot of black support. Is more than that. I think it's the way he responds to Kim and those children and those girls that he has. You know, understanding what he's putting out there and how that can later impact them in life or how it's impacting them now. So I think it's all those things, and then maybe the Jew talk is like the sprinkle on top. But I think it really formulates from other things, not just that one thing.
Why he don't have black support? Why would how he treats a white woman change the support he has from black people?
Kim Kardashian has a lot of support in the black community. I think people respect and admire what she's done from a law standpoint, and even what she's done, even if you want to say as far as how her family has accepted or, you know, kind of embraced black culture. I think that people appreciate that in a way. And I think that
Kim has more black support than Kanye West?
I don't really know, right?
She got a big influence. I do know that.
Kanye West has made Kanye West as an independent artist got the if I'm not mistaken, the album that he did with Ty Dolla $ign was nominated, right? So it was at the Win Award, right? He did that by himself on his own. No like media, no help from like the machine or the masses or nothing like that, right? Did that independent. I feel like that takes a lot of fans to do, right? He also with the clothing, right? When he had those socks, he made like fucking almost $1 million. When he put out that Super Bowl commercial on his own with his own money, everybody talked about how stupid the commercial was. Nigga made damn near $1 million off that shit. When he did do the swastika shirts, right, that everybody keeps talking about in a negative way, but nobody wants to tell you that he made $1 million off of those. So to me, and I'm not saying that Kim don't make no money. Huh?
You think white people did that or black people did that in terms of the clothing?
I'm not saying that who did it, right? I'm saying that I think Kanye West still has a lot of support. You just talked
about him being like, you know, black people versus like white people supporting him.
No. What I'm saying is that I think Kanye West has a lot of support, and I don't think it's all white. So I've never seen Kim, right, be able to say.
But I think it's. I don't think it's crazy to think that there's a lot of white people that support him on this whole thing that we're labeling as the crazy train that he's on.
I don't think Kim sells. I think Kim has like her fashion shit, right? Kim has her fashion shit through a major brand, through major labels. I don't think that's the same as Kanye West saying, "Hey niggas, I'm selling something on my own on Yeezy.com.
Well,
I'm
she created her own.
Right?
It's hers.
Huh?
Skims is hers. That's not under a brand. She created that.
Who? Okay. Where do you? Okay. The platforms that get promoted on, I feel like it's different than Kanye West saying like, I got something, I got to spend my own money. I don't have no advertisements. I don't have no sponsors. I don't have nobody else, right? And I'm selling it for $20. When I make $1 million or $1 billion off of something, I feel that speaks way more volumes than Kim selling underwear or something like that, or anything she sells and makes a fraction of that. I feel like that's just my personal opinion. My personal viewpoint. The fact that I could sell swastika shit in a time where everybody's saying this is so bad, making $1 million, and I'm selling it for $10, $20. I feel like that speaks volumes of level of support. But what I'm trying to say is I think all white.
But I think that Kim influence is bigger than Kanye's influence, though.
I don't think so. When I can make $1 billion selling clothes by my goddamn self, when I could get my album to be nominated for a Grammy by myself. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. I disagree.
I'm not looking at this. Like I haven't done detailed research, so please look it up for yourself. But when I look on 2 websites here, it shows that Kanye West has more of a white following than non-white following.
More of a white following than non-white following.
Yes, and that's verbiage, right? So I mean, but nevertheless, if we understand that white is the majority, well then, and everything else is minority, then I would venture to say he has more white support than black.
Okay, but do you think he has? Okay, but in my opinion, right, I would think that he has a bigger black following than Kim K. Now,
I don't know.
Okay, I mean that's just my opinion.
I don't know. The black girls love Kim K.
I'm about to say Kim K. The Kardashians.
Kim K gets showing a lot of love, man. Like if you
the Kardashians in general.
Like not yes, even their whole name.
Thing. The whole Kardashian brand, just in general.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? And that's all awful for real, Kim. No shade, no tea. I mean, their father was a lawyer, but like their influence and where they at now is from Kim.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
As a Kim Kardashian fan, because I love the Kardashians. Everybody like the Kardashians, but
I think that when I think about Kanye West, right? I think when you think about different artists, right? When I think about motherfucking Ty Dolla $ign, I think about Kanye West. When I think about motherfucking Travis Scott, I low-key think about Kanye West, right? I think when I think about Virgil, right? I think about Kanye West. When I think about people that's getting into the fashion industry trying to be independent, I think about Kanye West, right? I think Kanye West's influence is on the influencers. And I think that Kim is on the common people and shit like that. But I think what Kanye West has done with his impact, how he's influencing people, like I don't think we would like Virgil or even know Virgil to the same extent without a Kanye West. And I think that certain people take his sounds from his music. I think that he still gets to produce certain music, even though he's supposed to be blackballed. I feel like people still work with him. I don't know. I just feel like his impact, and I feel like it's not cool to publicly like root for him or like him and stuff like that. But the fact that he gets enough traction in media, I feel like it's because people still like to care on the low. People still like to pay attention on the low. It's just not cool to be the fan he was, right? But when I look at what his music does, numbers wise, I think that still speaks to a certain impact to me that black people don't want to give up on him. So they're still checking for him.
Do black people purchase more music than white people?
It's more white people. But that don't mean they don't get more listens from black people.
For sure.
When I hear Kanye West getting talked about, right? I don't hear Kanye West getting talked about.
Oh, go ahead.
But the argument is, does he get more coverage? Does he have more black fans than Kim Kardashian, right? So he can have a bunch of white fans, but when I hear Kanye West getting covered, right, it's on black podcasts. Who has a black fan base? So they're not covering shit that's not going to get traction. They're not covering shit for no reason. So when they cover him on the Breakfast Club, when they cover him on Joe Budden's podcast, when they cover him on just different platforms, and that's not to say he's not on white platforms, but he's on every major black platform too. So the people that's tuning in there is black. And I feel like those segments.
But do you think it's because they're fans, or it's because it's just a situation where it's controversial and people want to hear it because people like drama?
Okay, the people that want to hear it, I feel like it's still the viewership of it.
Yeah, but I don't think that makes
a lot of things, a lot of media platforms. There are a lot of people in media who do watch a whole a whole interview, right? But I would say the majority of people on social media right now watch clips. So when I see a Kanye West clip that has all these views, right, you could have skipped it. You could have went past it. But they still have a lot of views. And I feel like that's not for no
because
reason.
they're fans. I think they just want to see what the fuck he about to do next. Not because it's
entertainment.
they're a fan. It's just entertaining. It's just like, what the fuck is this nigga about to do or say now?
If somebody could review his music and then his music could get potentially an award, I just feel like that. Oh, man. My bad. If somebody could review his music and then his album could potentially get an award independent, I feel like that speaks to viewership. And I don't know if it's just because they're so curious about what he's going to say. Because him and Ty Dolla $ign, I don't think Ty Dolla $ign has as many fans nowhere near as Kanye West to push an album to get an award. So I look at that as Kanye West bringing majority of his fan base. So when that happens, to me, it's like, well, they're not listening to it for something crazy because he didn't say anything crazy in that album. So when that album almost wins an award, it's like, that's just the fandom coming. Now, I'm not saying there's no white fans, but, that's the album before last. The album before last.
Oh, okay.
I think he's done a lot more crazy shit since then, but.
Yeah, he's done a lot more crazy shit since then, but that was, I feel like, when he was making the next album, to promote the next album, the Bully album.
Mm-hmm.
When he did the
what was Donda? So Donda was before Bully?
Yes.
Okay.
What was on Donda? I'm trying to connect it.
Donda was the album that he had everybody in the stadium and he didn't want nobody to cuss on the album, and he put certain people off the album. Soulja was mad because he put his verse off, and I think he took a Chris Brown verse off, and Donda was the album that
all the listening parties, like several listening parties.
I remember that. But what song was on there? I don't remember that album.
Donda was he had the joint with Andre 3000 on there rapping about talking about the relationship he had with a girl and talking to the girl's mom and apologizing for how he treated her or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, let me see.
I'm about to Google it too because I was trying to see if I knew any songs off of it.
Because I don't know why I'm thinking to Guess Who's Going to Jail Tonight was on that.
Yeah, I think that's Donda too. I think that's Donda also, I believe. Yeah, I think that's on the Donda album, friend. That's on the Donda because you know he got Donda 1 and 2. Yeah, he got Donda 1 and 2. Yeah,
more popular songs on there.
I don't think it's popular. I think it was just like, what the fuck. I think he has songs that's more popular, but yeah.
I mean, just
that was
for
like
whatever reason, it was more popular. You know, for whatever that reason.
I think it was just crazy that people was like, why would he have this? Why would he do that? Like, why would he rap that?
Same reason why he made a Hail Hitler song. I mean, it's all for publicity and controversy and, you know, those things. So.
Oh yeah, I ain't listened to this album. When I'm looking at the track list, I don't know none of the songs on here. Okay.
But basically what I'm trying to say, other than the Bully album that people are just not letting be played on their platforms, in a sense, all his music still does good. I would think that a lot of that still has a connection to the black community. It's just in secret. It's just not cool to like Kanye West.
I don't even agree with that. I think people like being different.
Man, that nigga being called gay.
There's a lot of people who like Trump. A lot of people, especially in the black community, who like Trump just because they think Trump's a gangster.
No,
you know
Trump gave them some money. Trump gave them money.
For whatever reason, right? I feel like it's not crazy for people to like the odd thing, right? Or the thing that other people don't like if they have, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that's uncommon, especially for the black community.
Trump gave niggas money, right? And if all these niggas really like Trump, right? Like how they say they do, right? Why he ain't be the man? Trump, they only like Trump enough for him to be a woman. Because niggas don't want to take commands from women. They don't want a woman telling them what to do. So Trump only beat women. But the moment Trump went against a man, where was all these black people that was so ready to vote for Trump? It was nowhere to be found. So Trump just literally gave these niggas money, and he was standing across from a woman, which black people have a hard time taking orders from women, in my opinion. Refer to the tag.
I don't disagree with that. It might be some truth in that.
Yeah, he only beat women. He didn't beat Joe Biden. He beat two women, a white woman and a black woman. So that's so Kanye West didn't give us money, and he ain't trying to beat a woman out of something. But when y'all talk about Kanye West and with Kim, he just sent Kim a cease and desist about the agreement they have with their kids and how that she's been breaking it.
I haven't looked up. Let me see.
Y'all want to continue to sit here in this space, which is cool, or y'all want to talk about something a little different?
I mean, I'm cool. What's up? What we got?
Oh, why I say it was a hoax though a few minutes ago. So that was fake. The cease and desist letter.
Oh, I don't know. I thought I just seen
it towards Kim about the kids.
Yeah, it said it was a hoax. I guess it was fake.
Oh no, I didn't see that part. I just seen that.
It just came out. E News covered it. TMZ did too. TMZ noted that the letter was fake.
Okay. Kanye, leave that nitrous alone, my boy.
No, I think Kanye West got a point though. If I don't want my kids on TikTok, I don't want my kids on TikTok. If it's certain things I don't want my kids to be a part of, I feel like he could say that.
But he gotta keep that same energy, because when she told him not to have no song with fucking Diddy, put Northwest on a song with Diddy after this nigga was accused of motherfucking, like, you didn't even respect that.
I think that Kanye West is trying to say that I'm not saying that she's wrong for feeling that way, right? But I think what Kanye West is trying to say, that the things that I'm arguing, we agreed to legally. We never agreed that I wouldn't have her on a Diddy song legally when we had this agreement of what our joint custody would look like.
Fuck all that legal shit when something else just makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you fight to have that be a thing, right? Like, does that show that you're responsible as a parent? No.
It depends on how you look at it to me.
What about that could be considered responsible?
So one, Diddy is okay. So when I look at R. Kelly, right? R. Kelly is somebody who's proven guilty. Diddy has not been proven guilty yet, right? When I look at the numbers that R. Kelly does when he drops something, right? When he did that Chris Brown remix.
I'm sorry, did we not see him physically abuse a woman live?
That's not what he's going to court for, though.
That, again,
even if it was alleged, I wouldn't put my child in the situation of being around them if it was alleged or true.
But the fact of the matter is,
wait.
Not alleged.
We're not telling Chris Brown not to do music with certain people. We're not telling Chris Brown like why somebody ain't take his kids away from him. We're not telling.
But I never seen Chris Brown trying to do a song with a little kid with a little child neither.
Diddy didn't do a song with a little kid either. Kanye West.
But if she didn't,
he put audio. He put audio together. Diddy ain't actually do a song with a kid.
Okay, so what happened with the song thing?
No, what I'm saying is that when I see the numbers that R. Kelly can do, and this nigga is guilty, right? I think that depends on how you look on it. If I'm trying to get some residuals, I'm trying to get this person to be viewed somewhere, like, or get the viewership up on a song or something for somebody. Maybe I think this is a good idea. Maybe I think it's gonna be beneficial for all the people who went to go listen to that song.
Intelligent, and she has two A-list celebrities as parents. This little girl can post a hair routine of her on her page and get hella views. She is not hungry enough in a situation where she needs to do that to become famous or for any other reason.
I didn't say become famous though.
Okay, I just use that for any reason. I can't see any justification on how she would gain or benefit from being associated or attached to Diddy. What gain did she get from that?
Can you tell me a lyric from her or any of her songs?
It's your bestie, Miss Westie.
That's a Kanye West. That's on the Kanye West joint, right?
Yeah. So my point in that is she could have done that without him, without having Diddy associated to her.
I think it all still have been associated to Kanye West because all these are my songs.
It doesn't matter. She is Literally, they have footage that went viral of her by herself getting out of a SUV truck with one of her friends before the Met Gala. She didn't need anyone else.
That don't come with residuals though. That don't come with if I die today, you're gonna get paid off for his life.
She has enough notoriety and celebrity, and she's a big enough celebrity, even where she is now, to where she doesn't even need that. She doesn't. People will listen.
Wait. What is she gonna sell you right now?
Anything. She's selling hair care products right now.
She was just in the Lion King little performance. She was just performing in California by herself for the Lion King little Broadway performance joint. She did that by herself. A kid related event that's age fucking appropriate, that get her notoriety. And also she's a kid too. I don't even think that she has a desire to do big. I think she has things she want to do off her check. That's why Kim give her the freedom to be creative on TikTok. And most of the time when you see her on TikTok, her mom is present or involved in some kind of fucking way.
I think she does. I think she does want to do the music. I just think Kanye West's idea, his thought was, I getting views off of controversy. I'm putting her name on music credits. She's going to make a check from this. I'm going to run it up this way. I don't think that...
We have seen a very public example, Beyonce, Jay-Z, of how that can work in a much more appropriate and controlled environment that is much more safe and protecting of a child.
What is unprotecting of... Who don't know that this ain't her idea? Who don't know that she didn't come up with this herself? Like, what is so unprotected?
That's why Kim was going off, because apparently this couldn't have been a situation that she brung to the table.
No, Kim didn't like that he did something right, but what makes it unprotecting of his daughter? Nobody's saying that, oh, your daughter's wild, or your daughter's crazy, or your daughter's... Nobody's attacking your daughter for something that we know that the parents control. That's not what's happening.
Was it appropriate? We're the same people in FYO. You specifically have blamed partially the parents and of the children who are involved in certain things, such as the R. Kelly situation. We blame the parents because we feel like
I'm blaming your parent for letting you get fucked by an adult, not for going to sing with a nigga.
Is that not like
that was? I want to say in the situation was they put them kids in that situation due to a possible opportunity, which led to something tragic.
No. R. Kelly went to jail because he ran out of money and he couldn't keep paying parents. So
the kids got in the possession of R. Kelly due to an opportunity where potentially they can be in music, which led to later traumas. All of them people that he was fucking with wanted to be in the music industry. That's how they had some type of connection.
Wanting to be in the music industry and letting your kid stay with a nigga who is sodomizing or molesting your kid is two different things. One, Kim Kardashian's daughter wasn't with Diddy. That's number one. This is just audio that we put together. Two,
she don't want it to be associated. Why would you want that to be associated with your child?
She's come out and talked about who she wanted to be for Halloween. Nicki Minaj, Tyler the Creator, people like that.
Nicki Minaj supports a nigga that had to go to court and say,
I'm not okay. Whatever.
Come on, bro.
Okay?
That's not a good example.
Okay.
That's not a good example.
Whatever. Okay, all right, cool, fine. You had it right. Whatever.
Oh, thank you.
My point in that is she's shown her interest in people that she wanted to be creative with, or people and artists that she enjoys. So if they were going to let her do that, I feel like it should have been under that light versus a fucking person that we know has assaulted women and underage women at that, potentially. Like, what?
Okay. But how? Okay. What? But I don't understand what makes that unsafe for her. I feel like that makes that unsafe for Kanye West.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look. I was to say that's not a good look, just in general.
When she has zero need for it. Zero. Her father is Kanye fucking West. Her mother is Kim fucking Kardashian. She comes from Kardashian line. She does not need, there's no need for her to take that risk.
I don't understand what the risk that was taken. I don't understand what put her in jeopardy. I don't understand what the risk that was taken. I don't understand how somebody gives their daughter backlash for this. I just don't understand that.
Has Diddy lost deals and things and a lot of anything that
That's
gave him
Diddy
money
though. I
because
don't understand how she like we're talking about what
she's
Kanye West did. We're
associated
talking
with
about
him in a way, right? That shows that, hey, I'm accepting to a degree of this because I'm still working with this person, or I
Kanye West
condone
is
this.
accepting. It shows what Kanye West is doing on a Kanye West album.
Which is inappropriate.
As the father, you wouldn't even put the child at. Why would you even want to associate that? As a parent, I would never put my daughter in a situation or even associate her to something that can potentially be harmful. That's, as a parent, you protect your kids from that. You would not voluntarily put your child in a situation to be at risk or in a harm situation, even if they wasn't meeting, because of what he was already charged with or fighting against. Why would I even want my daughter to be associated with someone like that? And why would I be okay with that? Because then maybe that shows that I may be supportive of that, or I'm just negligent as fuck enough to not care.
Girl has enough controversy.
She's 11.
Her mom has a sex tape that she can never live down, and her dad
11.
crashes out daily on the fucking internet. She's got enough controversy already.
Involuntarily.
I think something being a bad. I think two can be true, right? I think Kanye West doing something that wasn't necessary or something that could be a bad look as a parent, like you doing this as a parent is bad. I think that could be true, but I also think that nobody's viewing it where this is a bad, like where we're about to take this negativity out or this connection out on your daughter because we know who the father is and we know how this came to be. And I just feel like both those things are true. She's not.
I don't think it would have been received like that. I don't think it would have been received like that.
Already getting told she looks older than 11. Why did they let?
That has nothing to do with the song that she did with Diddy, though. That has nothing to do with connecting of Diddy.
It would have been backlash.
You're saying who would think that? Who thinks like that?
But it happened though. But didn't it happen already?
What? The song?
The song. Yes.
I think he did it without Kim knowing, and then she found out.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that the backlash that's coming is more to him. She isn't getting any backlash because everybody knows who to point the finger at. It's not getting pointed at her, and that's why I keep saying.
I don't think it's going to be the child's fault, but I think as a parent, why would you even want that?
Why would you even highlight her?
Why would you want that? She's 11.
More than her.
Okay, what I'm arguing is somebody saying you put my child like in danger or at jeopardy or something. No, he didn't. Nobody is giving your child backlash. They're giving your husband, your baby father backlash. Nobody's giving your child backlash.
If whoever's involved receives the backlash, the whole situation in itself is a negative thing, and she's right in the center of it.
I'm about to say it still affects her. Like,
yes,
even if it wasn't physically, that could affect her mentally and emotionally. And as a parent, you try your best to make sure that you can protect.
She's got paparazzi fucking yelling at her. Were you in the studio with Diddy? All she doing.
Everybody knows she wasn't in the studio with Diddy because Diddy was in jail, friend. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just
all these things you're saying, everybody knows.
The unnecessary narrative that could be.
Y'all can't name a narrative that even sounds plausible right now with the nigga that was in jail and I took an audio. Like when you said, were you in the studio with him? Everybody knows he wasn't in the studio with him.
But do we know people don't do things to intentionally trigger artists and celebrities all the time? It's the fact that she's even put in a position where someone could say something negative to her.
That's already happening because of her parents are.
Even if it's not true.
That's already happening because of her parents are. But nothing is stimulating from the actual Diddy part of it. Your dad's doing this. Your dad does this. Your mom does this. Blah, 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 blah. This is being said.
And why it was handled is because of the way Kim came in and cleaned that shit up. We're not okay with this.
What the fuck did she? What the fuck she?
She absolutely shut that shit down because the text and everything came out. She told him, "Nigga, you're not gonna release this song over my fucking dead body, boy. I don't give a fuck if I gotta sue you, whatever the case may be." When it comes to the song, it's not, no, I don't think it was. I don't think the song is released because the text message came out.
Now maybe you can find it on the dirty web somewhere.
He said that she cut that short, like you're not releasing this shit, like over my dead body.
It was a snip, not the whole song. Didn't make it out. So
and I think he put up a post saying like making a comment about like the situation. That's how I knew about it due to the text messages, like end up being leaked. And I think he made a post like basically complaining about it. But I know for sure she was not going for that shit because that came out that she was taking legal action behind it.
That's cool. I mean, that's cool. No, I just think both things can be true. I don't think she was gonna get. I think that when I look at like a Beyonce's daughter and people
She
are
would have definitely
criticizing
got
like
backlash.
her
That's
not being able to dance or her not being able to sing, I feel like that directly comes to her and affects her, and the fans attack her for this, that, and the third, right? But I think that with the fucking Diddy thing, I feel like it's a given that this backlash or this opinion we got is a negative one, but it's going to your father. Now, does that affect, like somebody said it, maybe that affects her. Okay,
that's what
maybe
I
it does.
said. It affects.
We live
But
in
I
a world,
don't
FYL, where
think she's going online
your words have
seeing
even
backlash because
said
of that.
people lack true journalism, right? People will take a headline and twist it and make it into something that is not what it is. So that happens enough already. We don't need to fuel that anymore. Like,
I could see she would have got complete backlash. Like, she's 11 years old. I could see the comments now if that shit came out. Like, you profiting off your child, like it would have been bad if.
All them
listen,
niggas
after
do
that,
that.
North,
All
how do
them
you
niggas
feel
do
about
that.
your
Everybody
dad
profits off their
approving you to
child.
be on a song?
But you have a negative way, and then you have I feel like that would have been negative. Like how she used the example for Beyonce and her kids. Like, that is done in a positive way where they're protected.
That Beyonce's
Yeah,
doing, and
you
you know
protect
what?
them.
You understand the assignment there.
Oh man, none of these niggas protect their kids. They put them in the limelight, so we could critique them, so we could judge them, so we could talk about whether they talented or not. You know who protected their kid? Michael Jackson. You know who Blanket is? You know what Blanket looked like? No, you don't, because he protected his kid. All these niggas put their kids on stages and trying to turn their kids into stars. You think? Okay, look at LeBron James' son, right? LeBron James' son brought his kid to the NBA, which should be a good fucking thing. You know what's been happening since he brought us to the NBA? Nigga been getting tagged, put that nigga subject to criticism. You want to protect your kid? Keep your kid off the fucking internet and in the background or somewhere. None of these niggas really protect their kid in a sense. If you ask me,
I don't agree with that because your kid might have dreams, right? So as a parent, you're going to do anything to make sure that can happen. I feel like you can do that in a sense of still protecting them from certain things. You can do it in a positive way. Like, of course, there's going to be some type of criticism, but I think the way you go about how you introduce and how you maintain that stardom as a parent matters. Like, that shit matters.
I seen Michael Jordan's son get attacked. Nobody ever attacks his daughter. Daughter working comfortably at Nike, all out of the way. But Michael Jordan's son, they talk about how this nigga ain't make it, how he a failure, how he a cokehead, all type of shit. Keep your kid off the limelight. You want to protect your kid.
Why don't people know that though? Because of him, right? Because he's gotten pulled over with.
People know that his son didn't make it in the league because you let your son. Because you try to. People know your son didn't make it in the league. That had nothing to do with you doing drugs. It has everything to do with you being Michael Jordan and he being your son.
That's cool, right? But in terms of the other negative things that he's brought that upon himself. The things that they say, the allegations about him being and not having enough drive. The daughter who work at the damn shoe store, they ain't saying nothing about her.
No, she work corporate.
And she's behaving in a way that's
not. No, because we don't know her. Because we don't know her.
That's because that's not obviously her. She hasn't done anything to get herself in the limelight.
Notice.
She's not getting pulled over and being said, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who my dad is?" She's not doing that. But he is. Multiple times he's been pulled over. Nigga was on the train tracks with coke in the car, tripping. He did that.
LeBron James' son has never did that. Yet, that nigga gets a lot of criticism because you out here in the limelight.
He decided to be in the NBA.
Yeah, so protect your son. You make all that money, keep your son in the background.
But that's what LeBron wanted to do. He want to play basketball.
Hello, everybody's subject to criticism, right? But there's other things when it becomes a little choppy, when there's behavioral things that you're doing, negative things at that, that's going to garnish you unnecessary attention, like getting pulled over with cocaine.
You got all that money. Keep your kids in the background. You got all that money.
But he has dreams. I mean, he got to do something. That's a grown ass man. He want to play basketball. What you going to pay for his life?
How do you keep that out of the limelight?
How do you help
them have that dream?
No, I don't see who having the son nowhere. I don't see who having the son nowhere.
Maybe he feels like IT is his fucking field and he wants to sit behind a computer. Right. Okay.
Or maybe he got enough money to just chill.
Or right?
My point exactly, Trina. My point exactly, Trina. Who the fuck is Hugh Hefner's son? Where this nigga at? My
I'm
point
about
is
to Google it. But he might have a regular life, is what Ray's saying. The difference is the kids that's in the limelight chose to be in the limelight, which comes with something.
Okay, now let me say this, right? Let's go back to LeBron James' son.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James' son wouldn't even have made it in the limelight without LeBron James. So LeBron James put his son in the limelight. So and then you're mad because somebody wants to critique your son on SportsCenter when your son wouldn't even have made it to the limelight without your son.
He's successful. He an American businessman, child. He managing partners of he a chief creative officer for Playboy Enterprise. So he doing something. It's just not like in the front of the camera. But he's successful.
Exactly. Put your kid in the background, like how I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan's daughter is very successful, but she ain't all in the videos. She ain't all in the camera. Like that's how. To me, I feel like as a celebrity, that's how you protect your kid. Because anything else, we just gonna critique and criticize them.
But what if your child have things that they want to do that might be in the spotlight? You can't be like, I mean, you still got dreams. So as the parent, if I can help that come to light, then I'm going to do that.
Okay. You subjecting them to be attacked though.
I think that's very possible. I think they're gonna be criticized, but as a parent, I'm gonna make sure I do what I can to make sure we can keep away any type of negative criticism or me protecting them to try to make sure that whatever comes their way will be positive versus negative.
Yeah, the internet's undefeated. You can't do that on the internet, gang.
That's true.
You keep that same energy then and understanding why it's inappropriate for Miss Westy, It's Your Bestie, to be having a song that she has that's associated with Diddy, understanding all the allegations he has against him. Right. It's just not appropriate. When we know
I just feel like she's not getting attacked for that. Her parents gonna get attacked for that. That's all.
Okay, Bronny's dad got attacked for him. I mean, everybody.
Bronny got attacked too. Bro, okay. You out here not needing this spot. You didn't earn this spot. You took a spot from somebody who really needs it. Somebody who probably comes from the struggle.
You said he was. Y'all said he was good. He a good basketball player.
So what we said was he's better than some of the people that went before him. So it's unfair to attack him, and you're not talking about the people that went before him that aren't doing as good as him.
But so it's not like he's good enough to be where he at though, because from what Puff said last episode, based off of how much he scored and all that, he deserved to be in the spot that he was in. He actually said he don't feel like he should.
But he not okay. So he wasn't in the league though. He went to the league, then they sent him to the G League, right? Which is like get your game together. So in the G League, he is good enough to be in the G League. He's outscoring people. So the point is, right? If you the 45, if you the 50th good person, but you're scoring better than the 49th, the 48th, the 47th, the 46th, why aren't you talking about those people? But you're still 50th though, nigga.
I thought Puff said he was good. He should never been in G League.
I don't know if Puff said that. I don't know. I'm not saying he didn't, but I don't remember him saying that. I feel like I would have disagreed with that. Me personally. I feel like I would have disagreed with that, me personally. So I don't know if he said that or not, but I would have disagreed if he should have never been in the G League. But me personally, I would have never. I think it depends on, tough skin and, knowing who your kids are, knowing who you are. If you feel like your kid could take criticism, they got tough skin, then yeah, by all means, if you can get them a check, then get them a check. So, something that they're going to have money without you or outside of you, then do that by all means if they built for that. If they not built for that, then that's another, you got to consider that. So I would think that if I had a kid, me being me, then my kid would be built with tough skin and I'd be able to go put them in a position, get a check, however I needed to, so they can make money outside of me. I don't know if that's LeBron James' son or not, but if it is, then cool, he did the right thing. If it's not, then I feel like you put your son in position for him to be attacked and then for him to have a lot of emotional things to deal with. Like I said, I don't know if that's his reality, but I just think that me personally, when I think about celebrity and protecting your kid, when I think about celebrities that protect their kids are in the background. They're not in the forefront, especially because I made enough money where you could go be in the background somewhere and make some money. You don't have to go out here. Doesn't do better in entertainment than their parent that's in entertainment. Like the average celebrity kid don't surpass their parent in that same field. You know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion. But anything, I mean, what's up, Ray? What else we got? I feel like we ain't talk about nothing on the list yet.
I love that though. I actually love that. I love the natural, like unplanned conversation. Loyalty with no benefits. I want to talk about that. FYO, can you kick us off on that though?
Okay, so maybe this might be some like ignorant ass shit, right? You know, maybe y'all have been faithful all y'all lives, right? I haven't. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I try, I work on it, but you know, I haven't been faithful my whole dating time, right? But in that though, right? I just want to run a viewpoint past y'all, right? I think that from my point of view, and I feel like other males would agree, right? In my situation, some other people in those situations, I think that if you're loyal, let me preface this with, maybe this is a selfish viewpoint. Maybe it is. I don't, you know what I mean? But if you're loyal and that's all you're saying is that I'm loyal, I'm faithful to you, and that don't come with no benefits, no other benefits. I can't rely on you for nothing. I can't call you on my time of need. I can't really like fucking get no peace with you. I can't come to you and fucking cry or vent. You can't fucking help me out of a jam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it really that valuable that you just faithful to me?
It's only
Like, does that really hold as much weight? Huh?
This just relationships with like
Yeah, like a man and woman, like
It's general friendships as well, I think. Is that what you're asking, Trina?
Yeah, is it like just a romantic relationship we talking about, like the aspect of
I mean,
dating?
I didn't really think about it like that way, but fuck it. Let's talk about it though, right? If I think I consider Ray my best friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely my best female friend, but you know, I think Ray is my best friend, right? I feel like there's things that even though we live states away, that I can hit Ray up for and it benefits me. You know what I'm saying? So if I couldn't call Ray to vent or unwind or cry to or something like that, if I couldn't get anything out of Ray, right, that does me good, right? Well, who gives a fuck if all I get out of Ray is verbally? She just tells everybody that that's my best friend, that's my best friend, that's my best friend. But she don't answer the phone. She don't call me back. She don't fucking check on me. She don't who like does that really even hold that much weight if like the loyal, like somebody being loyal or somebody being faithful, you know, have a scenario you want to look at it. If that's all it is, it's just that single part of it.
It's a person by person thing. So some people value strictly loyalty. Like, hey, I've had some, and Jason, you know, some very possessive female friends in my life. And I think me just shouting at the top of my lungs that they were my best friend at that time was enough for them, honestly. Because that's what matters to them. Me claiming that, me showcasing that they are valuable to me without even saying what that value is, right? That was enough for them. I think it's perfectly normal and acceptable for you to expect more than just someone claiming, oh, well, I'm loyal to you, because I need more than that, right? Like loyalty is cool, but like, can I talk to you? Can I lay my emotions on you? If I need $20, can I call you when I'm in a bind? If I need to be picked up and I ain't got no wheels, can I ring you? Like those things, I would say for me personally, matter, right? The fact that I can call either one of you guys and after a fucking hiatus, because I done made some dumbass decision potentially, and lay my emotion on y'all is what value. This is part of the value that you guys bring to me. Simply being loyal and saying, "Oh, well, Ray my sis," or Ray my bestie. No, that's not enough for me personally. Because to me, that's just chatter.
I agree. That's the same for me too. It has to be beneficial for both parties.
Yes.
In a sense. Any relationship, to be honest, when I think about it, whether it's a friendship, family, or a relationship, it has to be beneficial for both
Gotta
parties in some
benefit
way.
me. Because
Hmm.
and truthfully speaking, I know that I'm gonna benefit you. So I
Yep.
expect some sort of
Hmm.
reciprocation there,
Yep.
right? I'm gonna
Hmm.
benefit you in some way.
Hmm. 100%.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
your
I was just
HMO. I'm gonna figure some shit out. What's going on?
And I feel like that automatically, no shade, eliminates that person, because the one that don't put forth the effort or don't, it's not beneficial. At some point, you will fall to the wayside, because the person that is benefiting me and I'm benefiting them, that bond is naturally growing, and that's who I'm going to anyway. That's who I can depend on. So naturally, if it is a person that's not giving me any kind of benefit, we ain't gonna go no way. I'm no shade, no tea. I might forget about you if this big grown life that I have, that ain't, I don't need a lot of, I have a lot of friends, but ultimately I have my close friends that I can count on one hand, that I know if I need some shit or something going on, we got each other. We ride and die.
Right
And
about
those the ones I depend on. Like, those my sisters. I don't even call them my friends. And those the friendships I truly value. That you're gonna always see me with and always see me communicating with, and etc. Like, you're gonna see that those are my people based off of the relationship that I have. So it
when
has to be
you look
beneficial.
down my call history, let me tell you, Trina, FYO, Nelly, Trina, FYO, Nelly. You know, like it's gonna that's what
Consistent.
it is. That's my, you know what I'm saying? That's my
Go
circle.
to. Hmm.
I feel like a
Outside
lot
of
of
blood in our
men
family, you know.
I feel like a lot of men can relate to what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that all these men are quote unquote like faithful, right? But what
Hmm.
I am saying is that I feel like a lot of men probably feel like they put in something that they don't get in return.
Mm.
And the woman's uh in their mind, there's a nice amount of women that feel like the faithfulness, right, is the equivalent to
They're
all the things that
delusional.
men feel like they're doing, where we feel like there's no return just because you're quote unquote being faithful.
They're
You know what I'm saying?
delusional. My husband didn't marry me because my pussy is top tier, although I would venture to say it is. You know what I'm saying? He married me because I bring value to him. I'm not stupid. A lot of women got good pussy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women can cook. A lot of women can clean. It's the little things. It's the way in which I study you that lets me know what I need to do for you. You don't gotta verbalize to me what you need. In most cases, I'm going to observe you. I know your routine, and I'm going to fill. I'm the filter. Okay, I'm going to fill in those blank areas for you to make your day to day more comfortable. You're not going to be searching for socks that match in the drawer. Wanna know why? Because I took time to put all them motherfuckers together, because I know you wake up early in the morning. It's the little things like that that when you bring value to somebody's life, that makes them
Hmm.
more valuable. And that's a small thing,
Hmm.
but like it's still a thing that I
Yeah.
know does that I do that my husband appreciates.
Hmm. It add convenience into his life.
Yes, I make things
Hmm.
convenient for him.
Hmm. Easier than what it would have
Let me
been.
ask let me ask another question, right? And this is where the ignorance come in, right? This is kind of like, separate from what I was just saying, but still on board, right? But let's just have some fun with this topic for a second, right?
FYI, are you sweating?
No, it's just probably the way the light is hitting.
I was about to say, you're not even drinking. Am I the only one drinking? Where's Puff?
Well, I just drove back from doing the thing, so no, I'm not drinking though. I should have went to the store, but I didn't want to be going in the store on the camera or whatever. But I will be drinking though, after this. But well, okay, how do I want to say this right? Should someone have to earn me being faithful to them?
No.
Why
And
not? Why
honestly, wait,
not
I
though?
was going, before we touch
Okay.
this, because you made a comment, and this, I was thinking this in my head, and I gotta say it. You made a comment where you said the female mentions them being faithful as if it's the equivalent, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that topic of conversation probably happens because you cheat versus leave, right? So I feel like because you cheating, the action of cheating kind of overshadow sometimes what you're asking for, because you're just cheating. So now, me being faithful, you cheated on me. Being unfaithful is now the problem we got to address. So I feel like that's probably why you hear females say, well, I was faithful, I was loyal, you out here doing what the fuck you want to do. I think that might be the topic, because it's funny, because I was watching the show on Uncaught, like Unfaithful show or whatever, and literally the guy was like, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do that, and she's like, but look where we at, nigga. Like, I caught you cheating, nigga. You was unfaithful.
Let me do the reverse. Let me do the reverse, right, man?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because that was girl math. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Let me give you male logic, right?
I give it
Boom,
to me.
right? Nigga, you fucking okay. A girl goes, you're a cheater, right?
Okay.
And I say, well, I pay the bills, I show up for your birthday, I buy you nice shit, I do this, that, and third. I get a long list of shit, right? And she was like, but you can't keep your but I was faithful. That's all you was. So I cheated on you. All you was faithful. You didn't contribute.
But I don't feel like I can believe it's just a situation where it's just them being faithful. It gotta have been something that kept you in the relationship besides the being faithful part.
And I can even see a woman saying loyal, right? Meaning I have catered to you, I have cared for you. I can see that word meaning more than just, I guess, simply by definition, right? Like I could see a person being like, I've been loyal to you, meaning I have been there for you, I have catered to you, I have taken care of you, I've been loyal to and committed to this relationship. So I think that it's not just that word, right? In the definition of it. I think
that's why I keep using the word. That's why I keep trying to go back to the word faithful. But even still, right? Let's go back to the loyal part, right? Mm-hmm. I think that when they say that, right? I think there's a nice amount of women, right? That mean like when they say I was loyal to you, that means, hey, niggas try to get at me, and I deny them. But the rest of the things you name don't actually occur.
Damn. But okay, so I got a question. Okay, so so in that situation where there's no benefit for you, why does it get to the point of cheating versus just leaving because it's not beneficial?
You may like that person though, right? Because like,
okay,
I may like how we are when we're together. So
okay,
I might make certain jokes, right? The way you respond to them, you laugh at them. I like that, right? The next girl, she don't laugh or respond like what you do. When I like to watch certain movies, you cool with it. You like these movies, right? The next girl may not. So when we having our movie time, I like the fact that we like similar movies. It's things that you may do when we together, right? That's like, I do want to be here with you, right? As far as like our interactions, as far as like how we coexist together, right? As far as like how we agree to be in this household or run this household, you know, as a unit, right? But as far as like, can I call you and be emotional? No, right? Like Mike B talked about how men can't get certain shit off as he's with a woman though. So there's certain things he acknowledges as a man he feel like he may not can do.
So then that's like y'all for picking the wrong women, because I know so many women who want a man to be emotionally available. That's all they want. I talked to a friend today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this is all men, right? But I just feel like a lot of men agree with that. We talked about how a lot of women say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, but usually how it goes is when they feel some way emotional, we're gonna talk about it, and we got to address and acknowledge what they're saying about their emotions, right? And then a lot of times when a man says, because you're a woman and I'm a man, what you're expressing doesn't resonate to me, I'm trying to get some clarity, right? Us going to get clarity gets taken as we're shutting it down, or we're being closed-minded, or we're not trying to hear them, we're being dismissive, when we're just trying to get clarity. On the flip side,
I don't take that as being dismissive. I don't get that.
On the flip side, when men try to express themselves, what they feel, we're just going to end up talking about how you feel. So we never really talk about how I feel. We just always talk about how you feel. Even though you want me to be expressive and tell you how I feel, we just always going to end up resorting back to how you feel. And I feel like there's a nice amount of men that can relate to that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I think that, and I think, right, because I don't know, but I think in talking to women over the years, I can say that I've heard women express that it's the times in which y'all do this, right? It's like after you've done something fucked up, Now you want to be this vulnerable, like talkative guy. And it's like, wow. Like, is this you really expressing yourself? Or is this you trying to get back in my good graces, trying to show something different so I can forget you?
You know what a confessional is?
Yes.
When they go talk to the little priest in the box and shit?
Mm-hmm.
You know when that happens?
When somebody going through something.
When they fuck up. You know when most people turn to God and be religious and ask God for help or ask God to come into their lives and shit? When they fuck up. That is the man thing to do. I ain't saying it's right, but that's when it happens.
So if you can acknowledge that right, then that is the thing. Then you have to give understanding to a woman.
I'm saying it's human nature, though. I'm saying it's human nature. I'm saying it's not like this, like intentional. I'm saying it's just human nature to do something, then get caught. Then somebody like, why the fuck did you do this? You know, it comes with why the fuck you did this? Expression, explaining.
But that irritates me because that could have been something that was expressed prior to, so it wouldn't even be a situation where your emotions is now being overshadowed by the action.
Maybe you should have expressed, hey, I like to watch these movies, and when we're watching them, you know, it's important to me. I feel like you're disengaged. You know what I'm saying? I kind of would like if you try to be a little more open-minded. Why not do it then?
Yeah, because in the moments when you record and now you're being expressive, your action overshadowed the emotion. Yes. And that's why I made the comment earlier where now you have a situation of hearing the female talk, because it's now I'm addressing the action and now you're giving me the why when you could have possibly gave me the why before the action where we could have avoided or
there was no why before the action though. There was no why before the action.
How did you get to the action though? How you get to the action to be able to explain after you got caught though? If it was no why, it had to be a why if you did it.
Okay, there is no why I cheated before I cheated.
There is.
So why? So
no,
why you?
I didn't cheat yet. Okay,
but when you cheat, why though? Because now you got to answer.
There was some dissatisfaction, right? Yeah. Or something that was something.
Rooted. Men are opportunists. Men are, a lot of
they are.
The thing about women cheating and men cheating, right, is that women can cheat, right, and they could set up the cheat, right, because a man will always be lingering in the background, waiting for her man to fall short or her to fucking feel away, and then get into whatever he got going on, right? A lot of times, a man be unhappy, right, and then cheating just happens to happen or be available, and then he acts on it. But he most of the time.
But you were unhappy. So why didn't we get it? Why didn't we talk about that before the action? You were unhappy. You just said it.
No, you probably didn't. You probably didn't care enough to have the conversation that needed to be had until I cheated on you. Because every time, like that's what I'm trying to say, right?
If
a man will express something.
You're unhappy and you have not cheated yet.
It gotta be a why.
You could tell a bitch something that you don't like, and you know what they would do, friend? Tell you how they feel. Is what I'm trying to say. It's not until you cheat that a bitch is like, oh my God, something's wrong. Crazy. And then when you tell them, they still gonna tell you how they feel.
I don't
That's
think
crazy.
I've ever had a man truly come to me and tell me something.
Me neither.
Legitimately try to work on it if I understood where he was coming from. You know what I'm saying? Which means, yes, it does need to be communicated with some logic. Don't come to me like, hey, I don't like how you wake up at 7 and I like to wake up at 8. It's like, okay, yeah, you know, maybe I'll try to settle at 7:30. But like, if there's a big issue, like you're truly dissatisfied, like you don't like how I'm performing.
How you gonna minimize a nigga issue? Like this is what I'm trying to say, right? Like the first thing you did in your scenario.
There is definitely
no. But wait. The first thing you did in your scenario, right, is add your feelings of what you think of how a nigga should. What he should talk about. How he should talk about. You added your feelings to it.
Despite my feelings, it's
a compromise. I knew she was.
And respect that, and that's the problem. Respect that. Okay, I'm at least.
You compromise in a hypothetical. But the first thing you did, right, is minimalize and talk about what the nigga expressed as far as his feelings is. You talked about the first thing you did was acknowledge how you feel about it, your feelings, and not why you feel this way.
In order for me to respond appropriately, I need to manage my feelings. Yes, I have to.
No, the first thing you should do to respond appropriately is ask, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that I need to wake up not at 7 because you wake up. Why do you feel that way? It should be the first. And then go into, hey, nigga, this is why this happens. This is why this should or shouldn't continue to happen or whatever the fuck.
Regardless of the why, I'm going to make an effort. Yes, I'm not saying that we still can't talk about that, but if I'm already committing to it without you even giving me a reason, off the strength of us, I'm telling you, I'm going to do an effort to try to at least meet you somewhere.
Okay, you are saying that, right? You are saying that, right? But all I'm acknowledging is the actions you took, right? I'm saying that a nigga will tell you how he feels, and a woman will tell you how she feels. And I'm saying that before you got to the compromise part, it's literally displayed in your example. Now, though that is a lighthearted example, right? On a bigger scale, a lot of women wouldn't have compromised. So a lot of women would have took it way further, wouldn't have got to the ending that you got to. And that's what I'm saying a lot of men deal with.
It's unreasonable for you not to present a problem to someone and them not to have some emotional response. Not emotional, but some sort of emotion behind. You just told me something. Like, let's be realistic. You just told me something that I'm doing that's bothering you. Naturally, that is going to flip my emotions. So, yes, should I sit there? No, I don't have to sit there. But should I be able to at least say how I feel? Should it be all about me at that point? No.
I think you should acknowledge how I feel first and why before you get to that point is all I'm saying. And I feel like a lot of women do not do that. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you not to then have a response or not to then add to what makes sense or what, but I'm saying that if I tell you how I feel.
The situation, if a person, like if my husband were to come to me and say, hey, I don't like what you do sexually, that is definitely a direct example of where I'm going to ask, well, what is it that you don't like? Right? Like, what is it that you don't like? And the reason that's one. And then I think it's a lot of, if you're critiquing me specifically.
Sex shouldn't be the only thing that a woman want to get right for a man,
another
bro.
Example. But if we could talk about, hey, if a nigga said, hey, I don't like the way that you season your food. Okay, what don't you like? Is it too salty? Is it too spicy? Yes, I can think of several scenarios where you do ask the question because I'm trying to identify what you need me to fix. So I think that we got to be fair and understanding, like, it's not always one way. Either way.
I think we talking right now and you thinking of these hypotheticals as we talking, and I think that, as you think about it, I feel like you could think about how it should go, right? But I think in your first example, which was your just off the top with your natural thought, with your before trying to put some extra into it or pre-think about it, I feel like you literally did, right, or displayed what I be saying. And I just feel like, though it may not apply to you, I feel like a lot, or Trina, I feel like a lot of dudes experience, right, where the first thing to their feelings isn't why. It's literally, well, I feel this. It's combative first. Not saying that it don't get to a time where you can combat it, but it's combative first.
Combative is actually, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think you should stand up for how you feel. And I think that it's that two emotions can be valid. My emotion is valid in that, and yours
I'm
is
not,
as well.
bro, you really missing what I'm saying, bro. I'm not saying your opinion can't be valid, bro. I'm saying that if somebody tells you if somebody being vulnerable with you
right now, I get what you say.
That's the first thing a nigga want to hear, which is why niggas don't do it.
Yeah,
that's why niggas don't do it.
I get that. I get what he's trying to say. He's trying to say if I bring something to you,
I do not get what he's saying either. But I feel like it's not realistic. I don't feel like it's fair. Like, personally,
what's unfair about that? What's unfair about that?
For you to expect that you're expressing something that you don't like to a person.
This is why black men lead in suicide. Because how is that unfair?
For it to seem abnormal for them to have a response to that, right? Because you just I'm processing something you just.
But I think he's trying to say at some point, sometimes you prioritize my emotion in the moment. Like, we can get to your emotion. But if I'm bringing something to you and it's bothering me, because I think that's what he was saying, it come off dismissive sometimes because you understand what I'm saying. And then we can get to, it don't have to be always your emotion first. Like, some situations, it could be a situation where you put your emotions to the side and address some shit, and then you can.
How would you respond with your emotions on something I'm saying and you ain't even understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't understand how I got to this point. You don't understand what made me say this, but you're gonna share how you emotionally feel about what I said, and I ain't even get. You don't even understand what made me get to this point.
I think the bigger problem is if we never get to that point, right? I don't think it's crazy.
Get to this point,
but I think
once you go to the route that you go to, we never get to the point, because now with the way I respond to that shit is either I'm shutting down or I'm getting hyped, or we never get to that point because of how y'all respond, because of the steps we take.
Understand.
We never get to that point as men. Now you got a different thing going on now, because you didn't take enough time to say, well, why do you feel that way?
Yeah, I understand that, because even like with me not being a man, I could think of some situations where that shit irritates me. It does come off like I could think of a specific person who does that, where it then makes you shut down or it come off as dismissive because you're always addressing how you feel versus the actual problem or actual topic at hand. Like, put your emotion down to the side because I'm bringing something to you. Then we can get to a resolution, then express how you feel. But it come off as dismissive and it can make a person shut down. Like, because right now this moment ain't about you. It's not about you right now.
Yeah, we could get to how we could you just understand me first, or try to understand me, and then tell me whatever, and then we'll have a resolution between both of us getting our shit across. Yeah. But if I tell you something and then you spend the rest of the time trying to get your shit across, nigga, we're not getting an understanding, bro. Because only one of us got understood about how they truly feel or why they feel that way.
Regardless of my understanding, if I show you that, okay, look, this bothers you clearly for whatever reason that is, it bothers you, I'm willing to adjust. Does that not like outweigh the fact that maybe
I think that goes back to men wanting to be heard, because like, yes, you're making a compromise of what he brought to you, but I think you're looking at, okay, there was some type of resolution, but
I cared enough about what you said for me to even present immediately a resolution.
Yeah, but it might be a situation where he might just want to be heard on the why before you make the compromise.
Still talk about the why.
I mean, it still can happen, but I understand what he's saying though, because some situations don't sometimes get to the why because of how it was handled. Some people do shut down where they don't even want to talk no more because of how it was handled. You might have a compromise, but how it was handled might not even get to a point of us continuing to conversate or talk about what's going on because of how it was how you responded.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay.
What's on the list, gang? What's on the list, gang?
I love my husband, by the way. I'm doing it.
I wish I had some more men up here. I wish I had Thomas. I wish I had Real Dirty. I wish I had some real niggas up here, bruh, that could have maybe articulate what I was saying different ways or had different examples or different, like, I wish I had some niggas up here that really would have, like, I know niggas relate to what I'm saying.
I understand, because I recently just had a conversation with a guy and he was talking about his dynamic in the relationship and the things. I understand without getting to it.
All right, this probably got to be the last question for me. Okay.
Because
it's 8:00. And my man about to pull up. So, I don't know, friend. This question is kind of hidden, but it says, "Help, I can hit on her." And I'm kind of curious.
Okay, so one show we talked about, right? We gave our opinions, right? And I was asking y'all, right? If somebody got a kid with them, right? Can you hit on them, right? Mm-hmm. So I was in the Walmart, right? Mm-hmm. And a lady was in there with her kid. And then she asked me for help, right? Okay. Hey, can you get this off the top shelf for me? And at that point, right, I feel like I can hit on you. The kid there, I feel like it didn't even matter for a kid there. Like, once you tried to, hey, you didn't get down there, I feel like I can hit on you after that. Am I wrong? No? That changes the dynamics.
I feel like when we talked about on the first that episode, I felt like, I think I'd say, I feel like you can hit on somebody with the kid being present. I think it's just how it's done. for me.
Yeah,
And I
that
think
was a
matters.
question I kind of
Yeah,
had
you
for
can't
the
come
whole
saying,
game.
hey, yeah, that ass fat
Yeah,
every time
you
you
can't
watch
do
me.
that.
Like,
But you
get
can come and say, hey, my name is so and so, like, how you doing?
how you
Can we
doing?
exchange numbers, whatever? Like that's fine. Like it just all that matters how it's being done in front of my kid. Like it has to be done respectfully. I mean, it has to be done respectfully if she's not there. I don't like that shit. But especially if my child is being present.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
agree with you.
What's another thing on the list, Ray? Do one more. What's another thing on
Yeah,
the
because that was short.
Yeah.
Is everything negative hate?
Yes. Is everything negative hate? Like if I say if someone is legit lazy, so I'd say they lazy.
You lazy?
Is that hate? Like is everything
No.
negative hate? Like if something I say negative that's true, is it hate? Is everything negative hate?
No.
But I feel like
Sometimes you gotta hear some shit.
I feel like in today's society, everybody just when you say something negative about somebody, I feel like the first thing their response is you're hating or it's hate. Especially with the youth. Like I don't know if y'all got like younger siblings or nieces and nephews, cousins. I feel like it's definitely true to them. Like anytime you point out something that's quote unquote negative, I feel like their response is like you're hating.
Yeah, no. Like Ray say, sometimes you need to hear some shit.
You need to hear some shit. You fucking lazy. Or hey, you before you do anything, your ass gotta go hit the J. Like, come on, bruh. The fuck, like, live life without a blunt at the tip of your lips. I promise you're okay. It's not hate. That's me actually love. I care about you enough to call out something that I see is maybe hindering you, or if we're in a relationship, maybe hindering us in a way, or whatever, however it is displayed, right? Like you need to, this is something that I'm just my opinion. It doesn't mean I
sometimes it's a get your shit together. It's just that something. It's not, I don't think that's hate.
I got enough for love, but for both of y'all. But if Trina wilding out, I have to tell her. FYO, when you wild out, I have to tell you. Like that's not good. Like you're not making a good decision. I absolutely love y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's not hate. I love y'all so much so that I'd rather me. I can't watch y'all crash out without me at least saying, hey, being the voice of reason for you and saying, hey, that's you better than that, man. Like you doing some dumbass shit.
I agree.
I feel like Puff, he would argue the other side of that. Something in my heart just tells me that. Something in my heart just tells me that.
Yeah, no, I think those questions would have been a little different if we had like the whole group. You know what I mean? I think what does it say under that, friend? Under the is everything? Is
it's personal worse
is exposing somebody's personal shit worse than exposing a secret?
Wait, I didn't really understand that. How
We
it was
probably should save that. Maybe I'll do that.
Okay, all right. Have you ever had to tell someone that wanted to have
if I know some,
with you? Oh.
No, that was from the last show. Okay. That's from the last show. I asked Pop that on the last show. I'm probably gonna ask Darius that when me and Darius do a show by ourselves.
Shannon Sharp, anything y'all want to say about that before we go?
Damn, Shan.
That nigga fucked up.
Damn, Shan. That blows me because I was a fan of Shannon Sharp. I watched Nightcap and I watched Club Shay Shay. So all I can do is shake my head, bruh. Damn, Shan.
He was always a weird nigga to me. He just was always a weird nigga to me. I don't know. So it's like, okay, you confirm that you're a weird nigga, like a little bit.
Well, yeah, if you raping people, that's kind of.
I mean, I don't know that it was just the context of the situation. Like, I just think, and I hate because like I have your fetish, like you like sucking toes, you like your dick thrown up on, you like your hair pulled to the fucking white meat. Okay, right? Like I'm trying to be understanding. I just maybe hearing it was just too much for me. Like, yeah, like just the narrative just seemed insensitive. Like, yeah, big black man.
Yeah, that threw me off. I think the age threw me off in the conversation. Like him being 56, her being 19 instantly threw me off. That's a big age gap. And then just the conversations about the black baby and all, I just felt like that was unacceptable. If you don't want white people saying nigga, I don't feel like that white girl should have had the freedom to be like, put your black baby juice in me, big back baby. And like, that's weird as shit. That's like me talking to a white nigga and he like, yeah, it's just like, you're inappropriate. Like, that's kind of weird. That would make me feel uncomfortable a little bit. Like,
yeah, I feel like those was I know this is probably gonna sound insensitive because no means no. So once you say no, then that's no. But I feel like it was a lot of red flags in there, and I feel like she set him up. And I feel like when she's seen an opportunity to set the nigga up, that's just how I feel. Like, regardless if I may have felt like he did something that was wrong, I feel like leading up to that, there was a plot to find out how we could take advantage of this man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When you keep talking about like, yeah, you're gonna put a baby in me and all this other wild shit, I just feel like the goal was to get something out of you. And
also, we don't know when that call was made because she did file prior to this for 10. She declined the 10 million and then went for 50 million. So we don't know when that phone call happened. That could have been after the situation where they tried to settle for the 10. Like, we just don't know the time frame of the call when she started to record. Like, it could have been after she declined the 10 million. So
I feel like anybody that's been dealing with you for a period of time doesn't text your whole name. And I just feel like all this fucking baby talk and you're gonna like the confidence and like you're gonna get me pregnant by this time and all that shit. I just feel like, bro, you were trying to get some out of this man, and just this is the way you finally realize how to do it. But I feel like you were setting the thing up from the get-go.
Which is just extremely disappointing that he didn't see that. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, but also he's old and she's young, so old people don't see certain shit young people do. But
it's just that you fucking with the young girl. That's the problem. That is true. It pisses me off. Mm-hmm. You 56. You supposed to be somebody papa. Go out there, grill you a hamburger, hot dog with your grandpa slides t-shirt.
I was just about to say with your sandals.
And I feel like
young. You need to be settled. That's the problem. Go settle the fuck down, and you won't have these fucking problems. Like,
and I feel like he had for the money he got, and for the money she was asking for, not the lawsuit money, but somewhere in the text, I think she was like 25,000 each cheek or something like that. Like,
yeah, I seen that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, yeah, for the money she was asking for and for the money he got, nigga, you got to get you a better white girl than that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that bitch wasn't hitting on shit for real, bro. Yeah. This little OnlyFans bitch, bro. Like, nigga, no, bro. She probably wasn't even making 50,000 on the OnlyFans.
He could have been with Janice giving her less for more shit.
Oh, Janice would have got you right, nigga, for 50,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If she probably would have charged this nigga way less.
And wouldn't have leaked your shit neither. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, like
yeah.
And charge you less. No shit.
Yeah, nah, for real. Like I don't know, bro. Like, yeah, you were supposed to get a way better white girl than that. Even bro. Like she wasn't worth. I mean, nobody worth motherfucking, all that shit. But she definitely wasn't worth the 50K or none of that shit you talking about, bro. Now, I will say that I think all the shit Shannon might have been into. One, like, oh, hold on, let me say this right. Are we sure that Shannon's into this shit or was she into this shit? Because a lot of things I feel like, according to the text message, she was initiating. I feel like we throwing a lot of things on Shannon as far as like the kinks that he's into. But I feel like the kinks that we seen for the most part was shit she was saying. Like, she was saying she wanted to be tied up. She was saying she wanted to be choked. We didn't really see Shannon initiate those kinks. So is it fair? At least I didn't see it. So is it fair to like really put those kinks on Shannon per se?
I think he got them kinks put on him only because of that phone call when he said big black man choking little black girl. And that made it stick even more because he said it out his mouth.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Well, if we are gonna give Shannon the kinks, right? Like, we are gonna put those on him, like he like that shit, or that's his preference, right? Mm-hmm. I do feel like you gotta go young. You wasn't gonna get no bitch. You wasn't gonna get no 50-year-old bitch unless you do all that shit to her. Shannon. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You wasn't gonna get. You wasn't gonna get. Betty was not gonna let you ram it in her butt and
not Betty
hog tie her and shit. You know what I'm saying?
You might not have got no Betty, but you could have got somebody older than 19 though, Slim.
Bro, you could have got you
little 30-year-old something, little Jones. 19 is like
young.
It's just too young for me.
You could have went younger. Fascination with age in this, man. Like,
yeah, it's the age that's, and I think it don't look good because on his podcast he had different situations where they addressed this age shit. Like when Monique told him to get somebody older, and Sherry Underwood told him to get somebody older, and then when he had Carisha on there, he was making little comments about like dating young. So it's like I think that also, and when he had Keke Palmer, so I'm like, that kind of don't help him neither, because it's like, okay, it's okay to date younger.
I kind of thought the same thing when I heard Tracy Ellis Ross do her interview about dating young, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, to me, the shit she was saying about why she dates young, I feel like I had the same takeaway. Whatever you want to do to these niggas, these old niggas is not letting you do. So these young niggas is letting you do shit. So I don't know if you want to
clarify for Tracy too. When she said dating younger, she's also, I don't think she meant 19, 18. When dating younger,
I don't think that either, right? But I'm just saying that
I just want okay.
I feel like the shit they want to do just applies to a younger audience. I feel like people
what she explained was different from her because it had nothing to do with.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying how I interpret it. Like in my mind, I heard what she said to justify it, but in my mind,
because there's a lot of women her age that say that. Because even Claudia George spoke on that, and women with money talk about like the intimidation that they bring with older men, and I've heard many successful women speak on that before, like on podcasts before.
It was just something about the way she talked about it that made me feel like this is a freak and these old men aren't as freaky.
No,
and
that's not what I got from what I heard.
That's what I got from
like, she's saying these old niggas ain't on shit neither. So it's like, because she was talking about toxic masculinity in like older men. So I'm like,
you think younger men ain't toxic, Trina? You think younger niggas ain't toxic, Trina?
No, I think toxic. You have toxic younger men too, but I think she also spoke on older men being in their ways.
And that's older man gonna do. He ain't as fucking curious and fucking wanting to try as much shit as I feel like her little freaky ass. That's what I took away from
that. Little freaky ass.
Refer to the tag at the beginning. You know what I mean? Maybe this shit is true, not true, allegedly. I don't know. But that was my takeaway. Like,
I'm dead.
Nigga,
her young can be 45. Like that doesn't mean he's 22. Like they somebody younger.
All right. Vivica was out here. What's your boy? What's your boy that motherfucking had his legs up, talked about getting his salad tossed? What was that, Maxwell?
No, I heard Max.
That wasn't Maxwell. That wasn't Maxwell. That's it.
It wasn't Tank, actually.
I thought Tank was the one that said if you suck 2 dicks, that'll make you gay.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah.
So Maxwell was the one
said
talking about like
if you explore, don't. He was at an event, at a gay event or something like that, performing. And he talked about gay people.
Maxwell, I think, was the one, right? That was in the interview when he put his legs up on the chair and talked about how like he let a girl eat his ass, right?
I didn't see that.
I think that was Maxwell, right? I doubt that was a young girl. I doubt that was an old girl. I'm pretty sure that was a young girl. I feel like
Maxwell did that.
I'm pretty sure it was either Maxwell or Tank, one of them 2 niggas.
No, Tank ain't put no legs up on no chair, no interview chat.
Man, one of them niggas put their legs up in an interview.
I'm about to Google that.
Had their ass out and was talking about how they let the bitch talk their salad. The point I'm trying to make is, I think a younger girl did that, right? When I think about Vivica Fox, right? Vivica Fox dating 50 Cent. I think about Vivica Fox being older than 50 Cent, right? So when she was eating his ass, right? I think about 50 Cent being younger, right? The point I'm trying to make is, I think old people and young people sexually, they just, you know what I mean? Just, they don't be stuck in their ways. You can try some shit. And I just feel like old people, they don't get, you know what I mean? Hey, one nigga be like, no, no. That's all I'm saying.
Facts.
So I don't, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Trini, you ain't never seen that shit? Oh man, right in the show, man. I fucking pulled it. One of them niggas Definitely had their legs up in the chair. So I'm gonna get their salad sauce, man. Right in the summer, I'm gonna go try to find that little clip.
All right, bet.
That's crazy. The legs up here.
She get cracked now. She wanna fuck.
It's a lot of men that like this.
What the fuck, Nima?
You wanna ride out? You wanna ride out? And we ain't at the playground, we can slide out. And I'll hit you from the back and make you wild out. Yeah. This ain't wildin' out. In the club with the cannon on me, I be wildin' out. I just pulled up with the tech like I be filing out. Yo, bitch wanna do needs to be down. I'm finna pound her out. I just stuffed a bitch on a